On FM and AM 1160, WCCS.
It is Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Clint and Galen are here this morning with us. I'm going to make my voice recover here in just a second, and we'll get them rolling on this Monday morning. Here we go. Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. And the boys are here today. Clinton Smith, Galen Bargerstock. Let's get it rolling. GCES. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you both with us here today. Both with us here this morning. Galen did so well last week.
I know. Man. I listened for the very beginning part of the show. I don't know if he still answered that question that we asked 2 weeks in a row now, or 4 weeks in a row. I don't know if we ever actually got to the answer of what do you do if your spouse is passing away. I quit listening, though, after the first few minutes. I was sick.
Well, we'll let him take a shot at that again here today if he wants to.
Yeah.
But I have here this morning, I thought he did pretty well.
Yeah.
This survey that came out, it says nearly 2/3 of Americans fear going broke more than death. And so they list three ways to avoid retirement savings mistakes. This is according to the National Retirement Risk Index. Half of households will not be able to maintain their pre-retirement living standard, while a Morningstar simulated model shows that about 45% of Americans who leave the workforce at 65 do risk running out of money. So there are three big steps to take, and Galen, I know that you and Clint will both endorse this. Number one, make a plan and write it down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Number two, understand Social Security.
Yeah, I'm really big on that one.
And number three, and I bet you're big on this one too, don't panic.
Yeah.
It says it's easier said than done, especially amid market volatility that's outside your control. But overall, the best thing to do is not panic, stay the course, stick to your plan, and don't let other people's decisions impact yours. Hold forth on that.
Yeah. I mean, the big one that I hear at the end is don't let other people's decisions impact yours. You know, we've been very upfront about that. We started out working with postal employees, and there are little towns where there is a postal employee that is helping everyone else at the post office. And we've seen it happen less and less now because we've been there so long doing this. But we would go into a place where someone is literally just a supervisor. They're a letter carrier. They're a supervisor just like everyone else. And they just seem to know a little bit more about the benefits and stuff that they get, which we say benefits. For us, it's a TSP, which is the same as a 401k. You know, it's the same thing that you would get anywhere else. This could happen at a post office. It could happen at any of the different businesses in town or in our county, you know, where someone is answering questions and they don't actually know all of the variables. They might know how those questions apply to them, but they don't know all of the variables that we know or that Galen knows from working in this, because there's so many different places that you actually have to go to retire. It's not like you have 1-800 number that you call, unless you call ours, because that's probably the easiest thing to do. But you could call us and we can answer all of those questions. But you're looking at getting questions from Social Security. You're getting questions from the IRS. You're getting questions from your own HR department. Where are some other places? The companies that you work with.
Yeah.
All of them have different answers.
Yeah, everybody has a different answer. I mean, and friends want to help friends in general, which is great. But I mean, my number one biggest pet peeve is listening to your friend at work and what they're going to do, because your family is completely different. You know, your eating habits are different. Your spending habits are different. So it makes no sense to live the same life as your friend that's trying to help you. So I'm just big on, you know, educating yourself on the process, what everything is, and then applying it to yourself.
Well, in one of your latest commercials, Clint, you actually say, you know, there are too many people just trying to DIY it.
Yeah.
And why, when you think about it, why would you do that when you have expert advice available to you? And I think one of the very first times that we got together for these segments, I think one of the two of you made the point that, we get all caught up in it's going to cost me to have someone help me plan my retirement.
Yeah.
But the money that you make, not just save, but make with what they're able to provide for you, in this case, GCES,
Yeah.
that's going to more than make up for whatever it is that costs you.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this morning. A lot of people, we work with a lot of postal employees, and they're, I would say middle class, you know what I mean? They all are relatively conservative. They've worked really hard their whole life for the money that they have. Most of them are relatively conservative while they are investing in the market, and they don't want to actually lose any money. And a lot of them think that I don't have enough money to need a financial advisor. Mm-hmm. And that is something that we come into all the time. If you have anything saved for retirement, you should talk to a financial advisor. We go over more than just investments. We go over Social Security, all of those different things. There's no obligation to meet with us. We give everyone a free, full financial analysis, and there's no obligation to buy anything from us. We do that all because we want to actually educate people on the stuff that they have and help them make better choices. A lot of times, the better choices means doing something with us, purchasing a policy, whether it be life insurance, an annuity, or securities. We have all of the stuff that people need for them to retire, and we're never gonna be like, hey, give me a check for $500 for this financial analysis. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen. It's free.
Yeah.
Well, it does happen. It just doesn't happen with us.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's
other people do that. We don't.
That's a great point, Galen. But it really is true. You're going to actually make more money for your retirement if you have somebody who really is qualified to give you the advice. And you're not going to force anybody to go down a road they don't want to go down. That's one of the things that people would probably list as their biggest fear is, I don't know enough about it that I could follow somebody's advice. And they might have me do something that I don't want to do, and then everything's at risk again. But it's exactly the opposite of that when they're dealing with you.
Kind of. I mean, the one thing that I always say is that if you are working with somebody like me, a financial professional, then you have the potential to do better, because nobody knows what the market's going to do. You just have the potential to educate a person, make different decisions, and go into the market. But all of this stuff truly is do it yourself. It's just, as an advisor, I come in, you tell me what you have going on, what you think you want to happen, and I'll tell you the reality of what could happen. And it's kind of like, it's not like I'm going to take over and everything's going to be fantastic. It's going to be, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to talk to you. You're still going to have to do stuff yourself. I want you to learn along the way, but you're not obligated to learn along the way if you don't want to.
The good thing I would say about meeting with Galen versus DIY, which he says, all of it's DIY. Yes, you could figure all of this stuff out on your own, but we do it every day. So someone that's going to DIY their stuff, they might say, oh, this looks like a great option if I'm looking at this quality, and this quality. But there are some underlying qualities that might not work for you long term, might not work for your portfolio, and it's things that you don't know or don't see that might be an underlying quality of this product that you're trying to purchase, thinking that it's a good thing for you, but there are other things down the line that are going to affect your retirement. So it's knowing that if you're working with us, there aren't going to be any unforeseen circumstances coming up in the future that we don't know about.
Yeah. Galen, you said when we were talking at the beginning of the segment about Social Security. Yep. Understand Social Security was the big thing that they were saying. There probably are plenty of people out there who say, okay, this is what I know that I'm getting from Social Security because I either got that letter or I did what Galen said last week. I set up the account and I can look and I can see at any time what I have coming when retirement comes and I'm relying on Social Security. They say, that's what I have coming in. I can live on that. Anything else after that is just a bonus from what I've saved down through the years, and that's good enough for me. Well, should it be?
Well, I mean, a lot of people have that general attitude, and yes, it could possibly be that simple. But, yes, your Social Security's fine. That's enough income level for you. But, hey, you have just say for a number $70,000 on the side, what's the most efficient way and best way to build and live off of that $70,000? So now you have to kind of, yes, we know your Social Security, but let's pivot gears in the house, and now let's look and see what else you have to make sure you understand what's going on there. So it's kind of like step by step. Once you know one step, we're going to move on to the next step and bring it all together.
Yeah, and one of the things about that is, yes, I can live on this amount coming in, but I really have not addressed the idea that something catastrophic could come up that would cost me big time.
Yep.
And we just as soon have a plan in place for that too.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of things that are outside of our control. I mean, right now, people are talking about tariffs. Prices are raising higher than they've ever been before. Eggs cost more than they ever have before. And those are things that no one had a crystal ball that knew was going to happen 5 years ago. You know, we went into COVID. No one knew that was going to happen. That affect people's retirement. And it affects people's ability to even make decisions about their retirement because they're worried about what's going to happen in the next couple months. So there's a lot of uncertainty that all can be helped by calling us and having an appointment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we should be thinking about here this morning. And, you know, you could get a power outage for 3 or 4 days and have to throw everything away that's in the refrigerator. What do you do when you have a $400 or $500 unexpected expense? A car breaks down.
Yeah.
There's a $500 or $600 unexpected expense. And if I'm living Social Security check to Social Security check, then I got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people will think about, like, he just said let's just say you have $70,000. We've met people that literally will leave their money in their 401k or their TSP, whatever it is that they had while they're working, and just think, hey, I'm just going to pull out $1,000 for every month that I need it for the next 70 months. That's only going to last you 70 months. If you're healthy, that is not a long-term plan. You know, we can structure stuff where you might not be able to take out $1,000 a month, but you might be able to take out $700 or $750 for the rest of your life. So there are different things that you can do and ways that you can structure it that will be more beneficial than you just pulling out the money trying to do it on your own.
All right. So all of that comes to the point where we're just about out of time, but we want to give folks the opportunity to get hooked up with GCES.
Yep.
And how do they do that?
So give us a call, 724-915-0005. We'll get you straight to Lorraine. She is the one that schedules all of our appointments. You can schedule with Galen. You can also schedule with Levi Allison. He's another financial advisor of ours. And they'll come out to your house, sit down with you. You can come into our office for the appointment. And we are riding the wave of the future. We do Zooms too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Fancy.
Look at these guys go.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, go, would you? I'm just kidding. Hey, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Just about 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. And it is a Monday morning, Monday, May the 5th. Boomer Sports is next. And then it's Matt from the WCCS newsroom. We are on our way today to 71 degrees with the chance of showers and thunderstorms. So some more clouds have moved in. But it's still a nice, bright, sunny day out there, and we're appreciating that very, very much. 54 degrees right now. Here's Boomer Sports.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Pinhead, sponsored by Wrangler. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart your day. Wrangler for the ride of life. Creating a new culture begins with seemingly insignificant details. New Cowboys coach Brian Schottenheimer moved the lockers of team leaders Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons